Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brooke and my husband's name is Al, and we make a ton of different videos, vlogs, travel diaries, just documenting our life with our dog and our kitties. But today we actually have a different type of video. I'm going to be telling you all of our road trip essentials. So we have taken many different road trips before. We are from Wisconsin, but we're currently living in North Carolina right now due to his military career, and we drive back and forth from Wisconsin to North Carolina and back. We've done it countless times, and we are actually getting ready to take a gigantic cross-country road trip. Tomorrow we leave, and so I thought it would be a good time, since we just packed and we have everything ready to go, to kind of talk to you about what we think is definitely essential to take on your road trip. And we've done this road trip several times with our 1-year-old dog Benny, and we are going to be doing this giant cross-country road trip from North Carolina to California and back with him. So I'm definitely going to be sharing some essentials that you're going to want to have if you have a dog with you too. If you see anything you like in this video, make sure you check the description box, because I'm going to be linking as many things as I can down below. Most of the things that you're going to see are from Amazon. If I can't find something that's exact, I will try to at least link something similar for you, but make sure you check the description box if you are interested in getting any of our essentials for yourself. So without further ado, let's get right into our road trip essentials. I saved them into different categories on my phone so that I don't forget anything. So the first thing I'm going to say is an absolute essential for when you're going on a road trip is to make sure you have a bunch of your documents all ready to go. So what I mean by that is obviously your driver's license, and you might think like, well, yeah, duh, I have to bring a driver's license, but before you leave, double, triple check that anybody who's going to be driving has their driver's license and you know where it is, because you don't want to be a couple states away when you realize that you've misplaced your driver's license and you don't have it with you. So just double check that you have it. But also your car registration, and if you have a state inspection card, make sure everything's up to date. Something else that I definitely recommend doing if you're going to be taking like a long road trip is to print out everything and keep it in like a safe folder in a safe spot in the car. So print out any addresses to any of the places that you're staying, any tickets for any of the events that you're going to be attending, your vaccination records if you want to have them, but also if you're going to bring a dog, I highly recommend that you have a copy of their immunization records, because if you're going to be staying anywhere that might need to see them, or just in case you get into an incident where you need to take your dog to the vet. Obviously, we hope that that doesn't happen when you're on a road trip, but if you do, it's really useful to have a copy of your dog's immunization records on file with you. So like I said, keep all of that stuff in a safe place, and every time you go somewhere, like if you're going to be staying at hotels or Airbnbs, take that folder with you so that you just always have it with you. Basically, a little tip I have is just to like make it seem like something crazy is going to happen where you don't have access to your phone anymore, because honestly, you never know, and you might have spotty service in areas and you need to pull up an address for something. So just have stuff printed. I know it's old school, but it's definitely going to come in handy. And with that, I also just recommend that you download your trips, because you can actually do that on Google Maps. You can download like locations, so just in case you have spotty service, you at least can get to where you need to go without your GPS. So moving on, the next category of stuff is going to be stuff like in your car or for your car. So make sure you have a bunch of stuff for like your car maintenance, like jacks and jumper cables, like a little mat, so if you have to get under the car or something. Basically just car stuff, because you never know what could go wrong on the road. You want to make sure if you have to change a tire that you have everything that you need to do it. Something else that's definitely essential is to have a little first aid kit. So I made a little first aid kit for my car, and it just has like bandages, sterile pads, and it has like some alcohol pads too, some bug bite cream in case that we need some, because the worst thing is to be uncomfortable when you're in the car. And then you can also put things like motion sickness relief. You can have some Benadryl, which is great for you and your dog. You can give your dog Benadryl, so if they accidentally like eat a bee or something that they're not supposed to, you can give them some medicine. So I definitely recommend having a little first aid kit. There are people on YouTube that I've watched their videos and they have really in-depth car first aid kits. Mine is just kind of basic because I wanted one that would fit in the driver, like in the back of the passenger seat. But you can obviously make yours more in-depth if you want to. Like if you have kids, you maybe want to make it a little more in-depth, but this one is going to be good for us. So the next thing I recommend is getting window shields for your car windows. This will just help to keep your car cool, which is obviously ideal, especially like for us, we're going to be going through New Mexico and Arizona and California, and it's really hot. It's June right now, so we're going to definitely put these to good use when we're not using the car to keep the car cool. But also I think I'm going to keep the back seat window ones on, just because if we're driving at a spot where the sun is coming in, I want to make sure my dog is comfortable and that he's not just like sitting there panting in the sun. The next essential is a car garbage can, and we just have this little one that fits right in the passenger door, and this is going to come in handy just to help keep our car as decluttered as we can. It's obviously not meant for like huge things, but it's great for like wrappers or anything that's little that can fit stuff that you normally throw in your like cup holders or the little spot in the front of your car. You just want to try to keep your car as clean as you can. The next two essentials are pretty specific to having a dog in the car, but they could also work just as general road trip essentials. And the first one is a seat cover for your back seat. This is great to help keep fur and dirt off of your car seat. It clips the one that we got clips right onto the back of the seat, and it's pretty easy to install and uninstall and to also wash. This could also come in handy if you're going like to a beach road trip or something and you want to avoid getting sand all over your back seat. This could come in handy too. But it's definitely great for our dog, and we've used it in the past, and it was great just to keep our car overall clean. That way when we get home, we can just take the car seat cover off, throw it right in the wash, and then we basically don't have much to do for cleanup. The next is super, super important. It's a dog seatbelt. I cannot stress this enough. If you are bringing your dog on a road trip and it's really long, please have a seatbelt for them. Just like we wear seatbelts to protect us, your dogs need a seatbelt too. What you can do is get ones that attach right to their harness, and then it clips into your seatbelt, so that way you can clip it to them and they can stay put. Because the worst thing is that when you get in a car accident and your dog flies around your vehicle, they can get severely injured, and even a minor fender bender can send your dog from the back seat to the front. They weigh less than us, and it can happen. I've seen it happen to people in my life before, and you don't realize it, but even in a young dog, it can hurt their joints for the rest of their life. So please keep your dog safe. There are also horror stories of people getting in car accidents and their dog gets ejected from the car and they get scared and run away. You definitely want to avoid anything like this happening. So just spend the extra money to get the car seatbelt for your dog, because you want to make sure you keep them as safe as possible. So the next two essentials are disinfectant wipes and baby wipes. So it's just like I said, you want to keep your car as clean and as comfortable as you can. So the disinfectant wipes are great for if there's any spills or anything gets sticky on the car or anything like that. It's just going to be great to have some disinfectant wipes to clean up the area. And baby wipes are great just for if you need to like wash your hands but you can't at the moment because you're on the road or anything like that. It's great to have some baby wipes just to clean up yourself while you're driving. The next essential you're going to want to have is an umbrella or raincoats or both, and you're going to want to make sure that they are readily available, that you don't have to dig through a suitcase to find them, just in case you end up on the side of the road and it's raining and you need to change a tire or something like that. You have umbrellas and rain jackets. But also if any of the activities that you're planning on doing on your road trip end up getting rained out, you just want to make sure that you're keeping yourself dry so that you can be as comfortable as possible. The next thing is something that we are trying out this time, and I'm really excited to try it out. It's actually a fold-up pillow, because your passenger is going to want a pillow to hopefully sleep a little bit, especially if you are driving overnight. You're going to want a little pillow, but pillows take up so much room in the car, and it's almost impossible to find a great spot for them because, I mean, if you have the whole back seat open, that's great, but sometimes you don't, and it's really uncomfortable to like put it down by your feet. So we got got this small fold-up pillow from the brand Wise Owl, and we are really excited to try it out. It folds up really compact, and it's going to be great for having a little bit of a pillow so that your passenger, if they want to lean their head against the window or just have a little bit more comfort while you are driving. So the next category is super fun. It's any snacks and food that you're going to want to bring. So I'm going to just talk about my essentials and what works really good for us and what has worked for us in the past. First is to have some trail mix or snack mix. So I usually go and pick out like a sweet trail mix, and then I make like a savory, salty trail mix. So I actually made one with nuts and some baked Cheetos, and then I also had a sweet one. But it's just super easy on the road for a quick snack. The next thing that works great is beef jerky or like sausage sticks, and we love the Old Wisconsin brand. We always get it when we go. But you just want to give yourself a variety of snacks. So the next snack that would be great is like some carrots or cucumbers. If you have a cooler with you and you can bring cold food, I definitely recommend bringing some veggies or some fruit. We usually bring some cuties too. So if you are able to bring that cooler, then definitely pack some sandwiches. And I say this is a tip for saving you time and money on your road trip. You don't want to have to stop and spend money on food for every meal because it takes time out of your drive, and it also, the money will definitely add up, especially if you're going for like a couple weeks like we are. I definitely recommend packing some sandwiches, and a little sandwich tip I have is to make them with buns instead of bread, just because I find that buns tend to leave less crumbs. So if you are on the road and you want to try to keep your car as clean as you can, I would definitely make sandwiches with buns instead. So some other things I like to bring are like hummus for the carrots or cucumbers, and then protein balls. I usually make them just out of oats and peanut butter and chocolate chips. You can add other stuff like dried fruit in it if you want, but you mix it all up and you roll them up into balls. And this is great for breakfast on the go because it fills you up. Like if I eat 2 of these, I am stuffed, and it lasts you for a while, which is great for when you're on a road trip. You don't want to keep getting hungry. So I definitely recommend that you bring these. These do have to stay cool, so bring them if you have a cooler. And then bring plenty of water for yourself. Obviously, you don't want to sit and chug water the whole time because you're going to have to pee, but keep yourself hydrated. It's going to help you to, not feel sick when you're in the car. Some people get really sick, but also if you're going somewhere hot, you're going to want to make sure that you have a lot of water. And if you are somebody who needs an extra bit of caffeine or energy, then definitely bring some mix in coffee packets, some iced coffee packets, or we like to do the sugar-free Monster. It's just our road trip go-to. It definitely gives us a burst of energy, and it's the Monster that we probably like the taste of the most. On the topic of food, my last little thing is not really an essential, but it's more of a tip. I know a lot of people, I myself included, love spicy snacks. You love hot Cheetos and Takis and stuff like that, but definitely avoid these when you're on the road trip because you're going to eat them, you're going to drink more water, and then you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot more. So try to stick to not spicy snacks if you can. So my last category of essentials is just kind of like miscellaneous stuff. The first is Tide Pods, and this doesn't really apply to you if you're just taking a weekend road trip. If you're taking a couple weeks long road trip like we are, I would definitely recommend bringing some Tide Pods. This will help you so that you don't have to pack as much, because if you're staying at an Airbnb or somewhere that has a washing machine, then you can do a load of laundry. Or if you run into you got a lot of your clothes either dirty or spilled on or something unexpected, you could stop at a laundromat, but you're gonna want some Tide Pods so that you can do laundry and you don't need to. Obviously, bringing a jug of detergent is gonna take up a lot of room, so the Tide Pods are super compact and easy to travel with. The next is sunscreen and aloe. And the sunscreen thing obviously applies to the activities that you do. If you're going to go hiking or go to the beach, you're going to want sunscreen, and you're going to want aloe in case you do get too much sun, because you want to be super comfortable when you're in the car. The more comfortable you can be, the overall smoother your road trip is going to go. But the sunscreen thing also applies to you sitting in the car, because you can get burnt, or at very least a lot of sun exposure in the car. So you're going to want to make sure that you're putting sunscreen on your face and your arms, especially if you're going to be riding the passenger the whole time. You're going to want to make sure your arm that's facing the sun is going to have sunscreen on it. Next is face masks, and obviously with COVID, places are, at least in my area, they're letting up on their mask restrictions. But if you're going to be traveling to a new area, you want to make sure you have masks with you just in case there are places that require them and that you weren't expected. Just have a couple in your car because it will definitely save you the trouble of either having to buy some or being refused to go to your favorite restaurant or places that you had mapped out that you were going to go to if they require masks. The next essential is sunglasses. Don't forget your sunglasses, especially if you have a long trip. I think the longest stretch we have is 13 hours. And even if you're riding passenger, your eyes are going to get tired from staring at the road all day, or like the constant sun exposure is going to make you tired. And also it's not good for your eyes. So take care of your eyes and bring your sunglasses. The next is a Bluetooth remote tripod, and the one I have, I just got on Amazon. Again, it will be linked below. But this is super awesome for if you pass by a landmark or something and you want to take a picture of you and your road trip crew without having to set it up on a rock or find somebody to take it for you. This is just super great. It pairs to your phone and you have a little remote that you can set up and snap the great picture that you want to take along your road trip. So the next essential is to download the Gas Buddy app. So this is an app that you can get on Samsung or you can get it with iPhones, and it is an app that tells you what gas stations are in your area or like coming up. You can search for areas and the prices that they are and where they're located, because when you're going to a new area that you're not familiar with, you're going to want to know where the gas stations are and the price. Gas prices are extremely high right now, so getting to see what the gas prices are in the area can help you save a couple cents per gallon here and there, which does make a difference when the price is so high right now. My next essential is to make sure you have podcasts or audiobooks or music downloaded onto your device so that you can listen to them on the road trip. The biggest thing that we have found is that just having a variety to switch it up is definitely useful. So I download a couple different types of podcasts. I actually made a huge road trip playlist that has several different genres in it, so that way we can go back and forth between listening to music or listening to podcasts. Audiobooks are not really our thing, but for a lot of people, they love audiobooks, so make sure you download a couple. But when you're driving for a long period of time, every couple hours, you want to switch it up between like music, podcast, audiobook. That way, it just helps to keep you entertained when you're on the road. And make sure you don't just make the playlist or find your podcast. Make sure you download them, because if you run into an area with bad service or just in general, it helps to save your phone battery if you are listening to your downloaded content versus streaming it. So my last essential is something that I like to do. You maybe don't want to, but it's just a tip for keeping you entertained, is to bring a little journal. I like to write down like cool stuff I see on the way, or just journal like my thoughts in general. Every time I'm on a plane, I journal just because it keeps me entertained. But if you run into an area with really bad service and like something happens and you can't listen to music, bring a little journal to entertain yourself. So that is it for our road trip essentials. Obviously, it goes without saying, if you're going to bring a dog, make sure you have food for them, make sure you have water and bowls for them, make sure you have all the stuff that they need. I would also recommend bringing a crate for your animal, even if they don't use a crate at your house. If they go to a new area, you just want to make sure you have a crate. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you can't do something because they don't allow dogs and you don't have a crate or something like that to keep them back at your place. One of the biggest tips that I have for your road trip is to make sure that you don't pack for it in a rush. And I saw this on somebody else's road trip video, and I started implementing this into our road trips, but it has helped, because when you pack in a rush, you are much more likely to forget things that you absolutely need, and then you're gonna have to buy things along the way that you definitely don't have to buy because you forgot. So make sure you give yourself time to thoroughly pack your stuff, double, triple check that you have everything you need. You don't want to be packing for your road trip as you're supposed to be leaving. You want to make sure you pack like the day before or however long you need before to make sure you have everything. I absolutely love road trips, so I'm super excited to share my knowledge with you. Like I said, we are about to take the biggest road trip we've ever taken. Tomorrow we leave super early in the morning, so I'm going to end this video, edit it, and get it up so that way we can leave for our trip. But as I said in the beginning, check the description box for any of the stuff that was featured in this video. I didn't really talk about like the packing specifics, just kind of pack what you want for your trip. I mainly just talked about like road trip essentials, so I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful if you are taking a road trip. But stay safe and always make good choices when you're on your road trip. It's not a race. to get to where you're going. Just be safe. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye! Stay tuned for our huge road trip travel vlog because it'll come up as soon as we get home.